Hello YouTube. What do we have here? Well, I've outdone myself this time. I've bought something on eBay which doesn't even fit in my improvised teardown area. Yes, this one is going to present quite some challenge to actually film for you guys. But I will make the effort and hopefully you enjoy it. So what do we have? Well, this is yep, there you go. It's an A.T.E controller unit, whatever that is. So A.T.E, well, it could stand for automatic test equipment. I've been unable to find a whole lot of information about this item on the web. It was really cheap. It was a whole 99 pence on eBay, plus 12 quid for the postage, which also wasn't bad for something this big. So yeah, it's basically a computer. You can see it's got kind of a Centronics port and various other serial ports there, a couple of floppy drives that live under there, and some great big chunky military connectors on the bottom. So yeah, it's pretty interesting inside. So I shall wrestle it open and let's crack on. So this is the top. It's basically just one great big sheet of aluminium. Actually the bottom's more interesting, so I'll turn it over and look at the bottom first. So there we go. Mains comes in here, the mains plugs here, and the power switch is here. So this unit is kind of the mains filter. The big switch from a power supply runs all the way down this side underneath this stuff. So yeah, this is basically just bus bars and connectors, a couple of big smoothing caps there. This is a video distribution board. Yeah, it seems to have a lot more power connectors than it should really need. As we'll see later, there's only really two boards of computer boards in it. However, yeah, there we go. So the computer cards themselves slot in along the back there. Probably the easiest is if I turn this thing over. So just to give you an idea how heavily built this is, this metal sheet, just the top metal sheet that went over the top, is looks about 3 millimeters thick. No, it's almost 4 millimeters thick, and that's just for a cover sheet that protected the stuff under the top surface, which is itself all in its own boxes. This thing was very heavy. So yeah, power supply here. Two little tension clips hold the PCBs in. Now this top PCB is just a blank, nothing else on it. This is quite nice. So they put the connectors in the end, but they haven't soldered them on, so I can just unscrew them and then reuse the connectors. That's kind of handy. Yeah, just a bit of fiberglass FR4 laminate. Really nice quality insertion levers on the side. Really robust. Very nice. Must have cost an absolute fortune new. So the actual computer hardware in this, it's a 68,000 base system. So this looks like just some kind of interface board. Nice gold ceramic chips. Looks like 68,000 series support chips. Lithium-ion memory retention battery. Nice cover on the bottom, so the leads don't catch on the PCB. Very substantial machined plastic, feels like nylon or possibly Delvin runners along the side that it all slots into. Here's the main processor board. Huge big 68,000 chip, MC68010L8. Very nice stuff. And another ceramic chip with a little raised on panel on the top. Interestingly, absolutely everything is socketed. You'd have thought they were clearly building this to be pretty reliable and robust. So yeah, you'd have thought they'd have soldered things in, but no, absolutely everything is socketed. They must have really wanted it to be serviceable. Well, that's my supply of 7.4 logic chips for the foreseeable future. Really old vintage hard drive. Unfortunately, it's the really old style SD hard drives. It's not even parallel A.T.E, so I can't readily plug it into anything and see what was on it, which is a little bit of a shame. It would have been interesting. I did consider powering up the whole thing, but I don't have the connectors on the front, and I'd have to improvise something to connect a monitor to it, and it would generally be a bit of a pain. So I gave up on that idea and decided to just rip it apart instead. So, having extricated the computer parts, we're back on the bottom side, and let's start taking a look at some of the wiring. So the mains comes in here, very nice. Right, hello again. Battery replaced, the sun's come out, let's crack on. So yeah, this is just the power filtering unit. Now all these screws go through to the underside where they hold on various bits of the structure. So if I unscrew these, the whole thing should start to come apart. So here's a video distribution board, lots of high-speed op amps. I'll hold on to this, it could be quite useful for something, clock distribution or something like that. All these screws are held on with lock nuts. That one wasn't. So yeah, they're all kind of stiff to actually get out. Couple of nice little electrolytics. Interestingly, they siliconed the wires on the top. Don't know why they thought that was necessary. Perhaps they could have wobbled loose, but seems a bit of a length to go to. Okay, we've succeeded in removing something. And here is one very vintage hard drive. Not seen one of these for a while. Yep, well, we can do a teardown of that on its own. Right, so I've cheated a bit, and I've actually taken quite a lot apart off camera, purely just to break it down into blocks which were small enough to film easily. So yeah, it was mostly just me unscrewing screws anyway, which is probably really rather boring to watch. So right, let's have a look at the front panel first. Here we go, here's the back of it. Here's the front of it. So the connectors, which we couldn't really get a good look at last time. This one's the main power connector. They all have these nice metal caps on. That one that says connector 2, and that's connector 1. So I guess they went off to the main bit of equipment, whatever thing it interfaced with. That one says RGB, so I'm guessing that's a kind of video output. This one actually says video. And this one says terminal, so I guess that was just the keyboard and mouse. What else does it have? It has a Centronics, an RS-232, really old style LAN, so that would have fitted onto a box which latched onto a coax cable. Really old style. Some A.T.E things. Under here, we have a fan and a filter. So yeah, there we go. It's a bit ugly, but would have done the job. Nice. It's a mains fan actually, not a 12-volt fan. So the air was sucked in here, and it actually came out this side. As you can see, there's this little kind of ducting bit which kind of blew it out the side. There was no other holes in the case. It was completely sealed, so this was the only way I could get in and out. Right, so oh yeah, and that was where the floppy disks lived, under there, but I've taken them out here in a bit. So on this side we have the other side, all the connectors, other side of the fan, and this unit, which we'll take a look at now. I'll find my Allen key, here it is. So this is just the connector and a readout unit. These are little LEDs which went into the display on the front to kind of indicate state. That's a little 8 segment thing in a rather nice little ceramic package. It's, we should be able to get that out of there without breaking it. There we go, a little ceramic package with an 8 segment display on it and a tiny little silicon die in there, presumably to decode whatever signal it was getting fed. So we've got a couple of boards. This was the main backplane, which those other two big boards. This was the main backplane, which those other two big boards went into. Power connectors there. The main power connector for the board. Lots of little plug-in. I guess they're resistor networks to terminate the bus. And this little daughter board, which hangs off it for the displays. Let's have a look at that. I think these screws have been glued in with something there. They're a bit stiff. Or Loctited in or something. There we go. And it does not want to come apart. There we go. There's brute force. So this appears to be just protection for the contacts underneath it. Got some tantalum caps there, and a couple of connectors. Very thick PCB. And this one. So this board has the LEDs and this rather excessive custom machine plastic block. I don't quite know why they thought it was necessary to do that. It must have been rather more expensive than just making another little daughter PCB and putting on some standoffs, but I guess they had their reasons. Some more tantalum caps, this rather nice multi-way switch thing. All very high quality stuff. And on here we just have some standoffs and a couple of switches and the back of these connectors. So yeah, that was very well. Right, what else have we got? This is the power supply. Fairly standard switch mode power supply, nothing that special actually. 5 volts and plus or minus 12 volts. So the only really impressive thing here is the way they've mounted it with these solid grade blocks of aluminium, which go into this still quite thick aluminium sheet, which bolted onto another aluminium sheet, which was on the edge of one of these. So yeah, they weren't at all afraid of spending money on bits of aluminium when they made this, it seems. Well, it does seem rather overkill. I'll just take the back off this to see if there's any make on the power supply. Since it was military equipment, I'd expect it to be something fairly good, but Ferrous Power, never heard of them. Right, so what has it got? Plus 5 volts, 16 amps, minus 12 volt at an amp, and 12 volts at 8 amps. Okay. interestingly, 325 volts DC, so I guess you can power it from DC if you really want to, as well as just AC. Well, I might have use for that. Otherwise, I don't know, probably stick it on eBay. These are the floppy disks. Again, they've mounted them on this colossal sheet of aluminium, which appears to have served no other purpose than to just get them at the right height to poke out of the holes. Yeah, fairly massive, pretty heavy. Pretty standard boring floppy disks. Not much to see there really. Yeah. Standard boring stuff. And that leaves the last thing. This great beast. So yeah, I'm just going to take this apart, and if you want to watch it, you can. Otherwise, feel free to tune out now, because it's just going to be me unscrewing screws. That's mine not starting. in another way. What's happened? So all these screws are individually machined stainless steel, unique custom made parts just for this. So yeah, there we go, thoroughly taken apart. And my stock of bits of random aluminium sheet is much increased. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed that. More teardowns on the way, more videos about 3D printers. Subscribe, click thumbs up. Yeah, see you soon.